I'm Mason Williams with Soco Roofing Services. Today I'm going to be giving you a glimpse into the tools that we use on a daily basis to service, repair, and install thermoplastic roofs. Alright, well I guess to start this off with is our most important tool here is our moneymaker, our welder, our hot air guns. These are essential. This is how we do 90% of our work, how we make roofs watertight. I'm going to take a close-up look. She's a little dirty from years of wear and tear, but you know, she's a good old reliable girl. Then another important tool to have is, you know, nice good chalk line for doing wall flashings and, you know, laying out straight lines for Rhine-Bond systems or any really plate system where you need to lay a straight edge line. Another important tool of the trade is a good rounded flathead screwdriver. This is probably one of our most important tools for repairs, for finding leaks. We use these as a probe for the membrane. You just run it along the edge seam of the membrane, and wherever you might have a lift at, it'll find it. And very important tool. Plus flathead screwdriver. So. All right, our next really important tools are our scissors and our roller. Both of mine, which are pretty beat up and old from the years, but you know, my scissors are still sharp and my roller still rolls flat, and they're just great tools, money makers as well, essential to use with your welder. Next important tool is a good pair of benders for doing metal work, and mostly just that metal work. Sometimes they work well as a hammer if you don't have one in a pinch. These are old and worn, but they work just fine, and I like them. Tapes here. Another good set of tools to have are tapes, and multiples of them in different lengths. As you can see, these are pretty old and worn and beat up, but they all work pretty well. They still measure pretty accurately. It's always good to have spares of them because you'll lose them all over the roof. Also, it's always good to have a good set of bits, just in case for anything you might run into, you know, as far as metal or screwing down insulation. This one's a bit decrepit. So I guess a saw and a good straight blade will take you far. As you can tell, these are a bit old and worn, but they work just fine. No complaints about them. They're important for cutting ISO and membrane alike. You use them just about every single day, so it's good to buy a good brand. Irwin and DeWalt, perfectly fine brands. And next on our list is probably one of your more important pieces of tools. Is a good impact, which, other than what the cover says, there is actually a rigid set. Got some batteries in here, a charger, and the impact itself, a good old 18-volt rigid impact. Can't go wrong with it. And I also keep some screws and plates in there to carry up with me onto the roof. If you want to hit us up, please do. Except your cords, your single cord stuff. Work on those. And next is one of the other really important tools that we use is just your basic hammer, framing hammer. I mean, it's hard to not find a use for a hammer when you're doing construction and things of that nature. We use them to drive in drive pins and remove old board if we need to. I mean, really any use a hammer might have. Another one of our most important tools is metal snips. In this case, this is just a pair of straight snips. They're useful for doing metal work on the roof, for cutting and, you know, cutting metal to be the exact measurement. And another important tool for that as well is a good square. I prefer the plastic squares myself because they don't heat up in the sun on the roof like the metal ones do. But we use this a lot of times for doing our straight edges and our angle cuts and stuff of that nature. Other than these tools here, some of the tools we keep in the truck are hammer drills for doing termination into concrete and brick, and then sawzalls for cutting ISO, large mass, or wood, or whatever we might have to come across. Angle grinders as well. We use those quite frequently for cutting metal and tearing off old roofs. And extension cords are a must as always. A generator is always a great idea to keep with you. You never know when or where you might have power. And then a good compressor too, for nailing off drip edge, and if you happen to do some residential or shingle work, it's always good to have. Some shovels, always a must for any company that does tear-offs. Lifesavers and backsavers than tearing it off with your hands.
Basically what you're going to do is you're going to talk about everything that's in your tool bag. Mm-hmm. Not everything, but the most like essential things. Mm-hmm. What they're used for, why you keep them, why you can't leave without them. And then you may go over some things that you like keep in the truck. Mm-hmm. That, you know, don't necessarily make it to the tool bag but are always in the truck because you need them. Like extra cords and like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, start whatever.